Good morning, guys. My name is Ido Oladiro from Real Solutions Technologies. Today, we're still on Power BI and we're looking at analyzing data using Power BI. We have a focus this morning and it's on basically on attrition. All right, so let's get started. What is first attrition? Attrition has to do with the rate at which there is a movement or a migration of people working in the workplace that are moving from one location to another, changing jobs due to different reasons. It could be from one company to another company, maybe a better offer, maybe a better working environment, maybe because of the way they're treated, maybe because it's a better pay. And it could be from one country to another country, which is the Japa syndrome that we're having in Nigeria at the moment. All right, so we're going to look at basically a particular data, and we're going to be looking at the objectives. First, let's try to import the data as we look at it, and then the objectives, and then we analyze at large. So let's get started. So I'm importing my data from Excel. Good. It's an HR data. I will drop the link of the data on after the video. All right, the data is loading. So we had to wait for it. All right. So we had to select if we are using the table or the worksheets. Either ways. The data is already clean, so we don't need to click on transform data, and I click on load. All right. It's still coming up, it's loading, creating connection model. Once you see this yellow, just wait for it to load completely. Else, if you stop, your data that is coming in will not be complete. Can you see now? 1,470 rows loaded. All right. So the data is loaded. Let's have a peek into the data. Good. These are the different columns of variables or fields that we have for the analysis. And let's go to the data tab so that we can also have a better view of the data at large. Good. Now the first column talks about the attrition, still working there or not working there, the age of the people that are involved as employees. Now, who the current employee status, whether the person is still working or the person has left the department, the field of study of the staff, the employee ID number, the gender, the job role. Now, somebody studied life sciences, now is working as a research scientist. What's the person's marital status? What's the person's highest academic qualification? And how much is the person earning on a monthly basis? Good. So we go to the report canvas, and then let's have a peek into our objectives. Okay, let's look at it. Okay. The first objective says, how does marital status affect attrition? The second one says, what is the attrition rate based on education? How many managers no longer work with the company? What age grade has the highest attrition rate? And what's the extent of attrition, this time around females, based on their education field? Good. So we're starting with the first attrition. How does marital status affect attrition? That's the first objective. So I'm using a bar chart. Good. Remember, we are looking at marital status and attrition. Good. So we have attrition selected first, and then we have marital status selected. Good. Looking at, let me zoom out first. Looking at our chart, good. It's not giving us any result. Why? Let's look at our visualization. The marital status is placed in the legend. That's why you are seeing the legend, divorced, married, and single. So we have to remove it from the legend and put it on the y-axis. So let me click, hold, and drag and take it to your y-axis. Yes. So looking at it now, we can now see we have the no, and then we have the yes. That means, and then we now look at the marital status. Okay, good. All right, I can still swap so that I can see more. Take count marital status here and bring attrition here. Oh, better. This is what I want to see, because that's the focus. Marital status and attrition. Good. All right. So count of attrition based on the marital status. So now, but to make it easier, I can still go back to my formatting my visual so that I can know precisely the values of each of this. So from my format visual, I'll go to my data label. My data label at the moment is turned off, so I turn it on. Good. You can now see 673470327. All right. So that tells me that 673 that are married have been attrited. So we can tell that marital status of being married definitely greatly influence attrition. When someone gets married, the person could relocate, maybe state, maybe house, maybe the person, maybe it's a lady that now got married to a guy, and the guy now says, sorry, you're not going to do this job again for some maybe personal reason, for some career reason, maybe you have to go and study more to get a better job. So that's why we are seeing married having the highest number of attrition, that people that have changed their jobs. Now single is low compared to married, and divorce is the least that we have in here. All right, so now we have the count of attrition, which is the heading. I can go to general, so I go to my title and I can rename it so that I can know which one precisely. So I'm saving these as my objective 1. Good. I can make it bold. Look at it. When I click on bold, look at this. It becomes bold. My text color, I can choose another color if I don't want black. Good. Fine. But I just want to know that this is my first objective. So that's objective 1. Now let's go and check what are objective 2. Good. It said, what is the attrition rate based on education? What this means is, does academic qualification also influences attrition rates? All right, so let's go. If I click on the chart and I click on another chart, it's going to change the chart type. Can you see? So when you want to create another chart, advisably click outside. Good. So now you can select another chart of your choice. So I'm bringing this guy here by the side. Good. All right. This is what I want to use for my second objective. So let me go to my second objective now. It says attrition rate based on education. So let me go and check. Attrition rates based on education. If you click, it's going to still work, but it depends on where you placed it. But I can actually bring my education, click, hold, and drag to my x-axis. Good. Is this what I want? Based on education. I can still take this now to my education and bring, I think attrition was here before. Good. So let me zoom out more. Can you see now? The values aren't there. So I go to my format visual and I go to my data label and I activate my data label. Good. So it's turned on. Now, people with bachelor's degree has the highest number of attrition. Of course, you have only your first degree, you're running from one to the other. Of course, you are more like, okay, all everywhere. You've not started specializing. If you watch, by the time you get to master's degree, you're having 398 compared to the bachelor's degree. And when you go down to doctoral degree, of course, they are now building a career. Most of them are no longer moving from one company to another. Maybe they've gathered experience over the years. What they are not trying to do is trying to save, maybe get more money, and then remain more focused. So we could see that people with PhD degrees has the least attrition. Why? Because maybe not all companies can afford what they want to request for. Maybe what they are looking for is also different from people that have a bachelor's degree. So that's that with the second objective. Let's go to the third objective now. The third objective says, how many managers no longer work with the company? Good. This is where the work begins. Managers with their experience, irrespective of number of years they've worked, they've left the company. We want to know. All right. So I'm clicking outside again. I still want to use my bar charts. I don't know why I'm loving it this morning. Good. So how many managers are no, okay, let me check again to be double sure. Good. How many managers no longer work with the company? All right. How many managers no longer work with the company? All right. So job role is where you have the managers and then the attrition. All right. Remember, it's still on legend, so I can decide to bring my job role, legend to attrition. Let's see it. All right. Let me zoom so that we can see. Now it's showing us all the job roles, all, but that's not what we're looking for. We are looking for only manager. All right. So in this case, we have to now apply what we call the filter. So still on the chart. Now let's look at it. Our job role. This is the job role. This is where you have your filter here. Good. These are all the jobs that have been displayed on the chart. I want to select only for manager. More like your slicer. I want to see. Okay, I'm cool. No longer working. No longer working. So it's not just, all right. One minute. All right. So we are still on our objective 3. We have the job role now displayed, but the focus is the ones that are no longer working. So I need to add another variable which has to now do with my attrition label. Let me add first to my x-axis. All right. Now you can now see what the chart has become. We have current employees that are managers, and then we have ex-employees that are managers. And since we are focusing only on the ex-employees, so I'll definitely go, where is it? Okay, fine. I'll go to my filters section and I'll look at attrition label. Good. I'm not to select all. I'm going to select only the ex-employees. Good. So if you look at it now, I can come here and then go to my data label. All right, you can see I'm having 5 as a count. Now, I can still take it further by now changing the chart to a card. Let's see what happens. Good. So when I change it to a card, instead of just the chart I'm having, I change it to a card. You know, your card is more like a KPI, displaying the precise value of what your objective is asking for. So let me go back. Let me show what the objective is saying. Good. How many managers? Look at the objective is different. Precisely. No longer work with the company. You can see it displays the count of 5. All right, so let's go to the fourth one. Say what age grade has the highest attrition rate? Age grade has the highest attrition rate. Good. Age grade, still using my chart again. So I'm now having age grade. Good. Which age grade is having the highest attrition? Good. Remember, when you have like this, then I'll go to my visualization and check. My y-axis is not having anything, and my legend is having attrition. So I move it to my y-axis and look at what happens. Good. Let me zoom out. What age grade has the highest? To know precisely what the values are, don't forget, you select the chart, you go to format visuals, and then your data label, turn it on. Good. You can have the values there now precisely. So we can see how, let me go back again. What age range has the highest attrition rate? Very simple. It's 25 to 34. That's what has the highest age range, attrition rate, age range. Good. And if I still want, I can decide to say, okay, I want to format these headers. Very simple. Let me go to general. From general, I go to title. Yes. Look at it. I'm having count of attrition by age. I can say this is my objective 4. Objective 4. Good. And I make it bold. Can you see it's bold? I can change the color of the text. Let me still use the blue. Fine. I can change the background color. Let me use something like an hash. Good. All right. Can you see? So I've added some formatting to it. So that's the fourth one. Then I go to the fifth one. All right. What's the extent of attrition females based on educational field? All right. The extent. Let me rearrange what I have. 1 minute. Let me reduce the zoom so that I can see. All right. Good. This is what I have at the moment. I'm bringing this guy here. I can reduce it. Good. I can bring this guy here. Good. I can bring this guy here and also still reduce. I'll still get the same thing. Good. Now this is a card. Well, let me pick it up and put it here. All right. Now if you look, it's big. So let me reduce. You can see the size is 45. So let me reduce it. Good. Remember, I reduced the zoom. All right. Good. I can still make it bold. Correct. Then I can still change the color if I want. Good. All right. Let's assume this is what I want now. I can zoom out. Okay. So that's that. Solving that. Now let me go to the fifth one. Extent of attrition females based on educational field. Correct. I'm still using, I don't know why. Okay. Let me still use my bar chart. All right. Extent of attrition females based on educational field. All right. Gender. Educational. Okay. And then attrition. All right. Gender. Let me format the label. I'll still work on the chart. 1 minute. Data label. I turn it on. All right. Okay. All right. So, like I was saying earlier, let me go back. I can still reset this to make this objective 5 more explanatory. All right. Okay, let me remove them. All right, good. So now to make it easier, I'm bringing the education field to my y-axis. Okay. Then my attrition rate to my x-axis. Good. All right. Then I will now take my gender to the legend this time around. All right, good. Now, but remember, let me check again. It says, what is the extent of attrition for females based on educational field? So in this case now, we need to, okay, let me bring up my filters. Yes. Here, I want to change the filter of gender to only female, because what I'm having is male and female. Sorry, let me zoom out. Well, good. All right. The female is a light blue, the male is a dark blue. Oh, sorry, I think I made a mistake. I used, okay, no mistake. So I'm changing it to only female. All right, good. So let's look at it based on education field, extent of attrition. So that means for females, they have people in the life sciences and medical, especially the life sciences people, which are more of researchers, and then medical are the ones that are moving from one place, maybe due to marriage, maybe due to job description, maybe due to a better pay, maybe moving from one country to another, maybe relocation, maybe as a result of divorce, or several other issues we are not looking at in these particular analysis. So that's that with the 5 objectives. And let me just add 1 or 2 things. All right, good. Let me go to the canvas itself, the entire canvas. All right, I can go to my canvas background. At the moment it's white. I can choose another color. All right, this color is not blending well. I can change it to something, okay? If I'm comfortable with this, fine. If I'm not, good. Now this shows that my chart is not well arranged, so I can now try to resize to fit in. All right, you can see that red line is helping me to be more like a guide. Okay. All right, so this is set. I can bring this here. Good. Now, if I want, I can bring in slicers. For example, let me bring a slicer here now. All right, I can say based marital status at large. Good. This my slides are good. Is a person who want to see only divorced people. Wow. You can see the count of attrition by marital status is only divorce. And now from divorce, we could see that bachelor's degree is where we have the highest, and then same life sciences and medical. Wow. And then same 25 to 34. That's the age range. Let's check for the married. Oh wow. Same. Wow. All right. And let me see for single. Wow. Okay. Now for divorce, human resources, the least but is higher. The highest is in married compared to single. All right. So this is how to bring in our charts in relation to your set objective. In this case, we are looking at an attrition data. Now, all right, in the next video where I'll be doing a complete dashboard, we're going to see how a complete dashboard is going to look like, and then we're also going to use this data, and then we go deeper. We can add our logo here, we can add more slicers, and then we can manage our slicers differently, and then we can create where we're going to be writing a recommendation, the technical report writing, doing a business analysis, and coming up with the summary before we now submit our report. One more thing before we end this video. If you're going to share these information with someone on the other side of the divide who is not having Power BI, how will the person see it? To make it easier, you go to File, and then you go to Publish. Yes. No, sorry. Export rather. Yes. Then you now say Export to PDF. All right. So you wait. All right. We're waiting. Good. So now we have published it to PDF. So you can actually have, this is more like a screenshot of what is happening. We can have several types, and then we can rename and then send it to the person. More like, okay, this is a PDF file. If this is for objective 1, for objective 2, for objective 3, for objective 4, depending on what you want to achieve with each PDF page, because coming back to Power BI now definitely is going to be more dynamic, but the PDF is one that you cannot alter, but definitely you can still send. All right. Thank you for your time, and see you in the next video.